First little snowdrops are blooming. Aren't they lovely? A very sweet couple sent them to us when Corey and Austin got married in honor of their marriage. Aren't they beautiful? We all just got through eating dinner. You can see I've got a kind of a mess behind me, but I want to quickly make some bread, and I wanted to share this with you. Corey has a video she just put out recently where she details all the ways of making this bread. Like, she'll share way more than what I'm sharing today, so I will link to her video in the description below so you can go and watch it. She found this recipe on Naturally Free Homestead, and when she found it, it made 2 loaves. She divided it in half, so that's what I do. She taught me to make this. And the reason Corey wanted to start making it was she had been using Acorn flour, and she's looking for a recipe for it. So this is it's a bread that turns out kind of like a yeast bread, but there's no yeast in it. So it's a really fast, quick way to make like a loaf of bread that's really, really tasty. And that's why Corey tried it, loved it, kept making it, and then she taught me to make it. So I am doing something a little bit different today, though. I've been making it just with the Acorn flour like she did. I have a Wonder Mill over there. A couple of years ago, my friend Robbie Lynn talked to me about grinding your own wheat berries. And I really wanted to get into that, and she learned a lot from bread bakers. You can find them here on YouTube, so you can learn all the benefits and the details about it and everything. But somehow I've just never been able to put it in my schedule of things I do. I've made bread a few times, but it's not been something I wanted to really get in a regular way of doing it. Anyway, once Corey showed me this really easy recipe, I found it easier to do. But I've only used the Acorn. I've ground those berries in the Wonder Mill there. So today I want to try one of the ones that I've had. That's the great thing about those berries, is they just last forever. They last forever. So I've ground some white soft wheat. So that's what I'm going to use. So I've got my flour here. It's 3 1/3 cup of flour. The Acorn is what I've got wrote down, but today I'm using, and I don't know, this may turn out and it may not turn out. I'm just going to try it. I'm using the soft white. And I'm not an expert at any of this, so I wouldn't say take your advice from me. I'm just learning. I'm just in the beginning steps of learning. Actually, I've been learning for 2 years, but I hadn't got very far. So this recipe, though, I've kind of made it several times and really feel good about it using the Acorn. Today may be different. Anyway, it's super easy to put together. So I've got my flour, and I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt. Well, that's not a teaspoon, so that's not going to help me. Well, it's 1/4. We'll just use it 4 times. Add that to my mess back there. And I've got some baking soda. I'm going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of it. Put that in there. I'm going to give it a good stir. And now you may question, like, well, why grind your flour? Why do that? Again, you can go to the bread bakers or anybody, anywhere online, just search, and you can find all kinds of information about the health benefits of it. Okay, now I've got 1 1/2 cups of warm water, and I'm going to put a tablespoon of honey in it. You can hear I've got some chattering babies today. I'm going to put that. And then I'm going to put, I've got some apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put a tablespoon of that also in this hot water and stir it around till the honey's dissolved. show you. This is what the little wheat berries look like. They're just little, kind of look like some type of cereal if you're thinking about grits or something like that. They're way bigger than a grit though. They're not like oatmeal because they're not flat, but they put you in the mind of something like that. I'm running out of room. Okay, now just as simple as pouring this water and honey and vinegar mixture into our flour and salt and baking soda. It makes a really wet dough, and it smells, you know, like vinegar. So the first time, I knew I'd eat it at Corey's, but the first time I really made it, I thought, am I doing this right? Did Corey tell me how to do this right? She did. Of course, it may be totally different today with the different kind of flour. We'll just have to see. Okay, I just got like the standard size loaf pan. I have greased it with some, I just used olive oil. You could use butter, you could use whatever you wanted to. You won't make as big a mess as I did, I'm sure, if you make it. So I've got the oven preheated to 375, and I'm gonna put it in there for 35 minutes is the recipe directions. But I've been using just the stoneware loaf pan, and it takes longer than that. So 35 minutes or till done. And then I'll let you see if it turns out or not, since I'm using this different flour. Okay, now that I've got it in there, it's good. That was one of the things I wanted to accomplish today. I've been eating it with my oatmeal. It's really good like that. It's good with supper though too, or with, you know, toast with butter. Make a sandwich out of it, whatever you want to do. I'm going to clean up my mess, and then we're forecasted to get some really heavy rain overnight or into tomorrow, all through the day tomorrow, maybe some really heavy winds too. My daffodils are just beautiful, so I'm going to clean up my mess, and then I'm going to go outside, since the wind will probably blow them away in the rain tomorrow, and cut a lot of them to bring inside the house. So my first flush of daffodils are blooming. They're really pretty. They just started this week. It's mostly these old-timey, like double ones. And then also just these traditional daffodils. They're lovely though. Over the years, some of my daffodil bulbs have migrated down the hill. Probably accidentally got thrown there when, you know, I didn't realize I'd pulled one up or something and I was cleaning up the garden beds. I always try to climb down the bank and get those, because if not, you know, nobody really enjoys them. You can't see them from the top of the yard. Over here's another bunch that's really blooming. Of course, it's precarious to climb down there. Usually though, I can't resist just trying to get them because they're so pretty. I just feel like I'm wasting them if I don't get them. There's more on out through the bank here that's, like I said, just somehow made their way down over the bank one way or another. I climbed down the hill and retrieved all these beautiful blooms. Some of the same ones that was blooming up here, the traditional daffodil, and then those that are double. Now I think I'm going to cut some of the ones up here so I can take them in before the storms arrive. I love daffodils. They're just like one of the first bright spots of spring. You know that. Everyone does. I love, especially as I drive to and fro this time of the year, I love to look on the sides of the roads and see them growing where there's no sign of a house or anything. And that tells me that there was a house at one time, and someone, like I planted these, lovingly planted the daffodils. It's a beautiful thing to think about. Kind of sad too, though, a little bit. Some of the places up and down Brasstown Road, Pap told me what used to be there. There's a place over towards Martins Creek in a field where there's just a huge spread of daffodils each year, and he told me there used to be a store there when he was a boy. There was a store right there. Only a cow pasture in my lifetime. There's a wonderful quote from Lee Smith in Agate Hill, I think's the name of the book. I probably won't get it exactly right, but the gist of the quote is, daffodils remember when the people are all gone. Isn't that just perfect when you see those places on the sides of the roads? I love to think about that. I love to think that the daffodils are remembering, even though those people are long since gone. While I was out getting the daffodils, my bread got done, I think. I'm going to turn it out and we'll see what it looks like. You can see it doesn't rise a lot, although this rose more than it usually does. So that is probably the difference in using the Acorn and the white, soft white. I'll have to let it cool before I cut it, but I can hardly ever wait to do that. Not as nutty as the Acorn, but definitely doesn't taste bad. So that's good. I'm gonna let it cool while I'm doing the daffodils. So I just got some of my old jars to put the arrangements in. I love using them. I wish I wrote down where I got every jar I ever found, but I didn't, and who knows. But I like these that have this crosshatch pattern. Some of you have told me before what come in it, but I forgot. This one is really chipped on the top, like it could never be used for canning again because it would never seal. There's so many little chunks out of it. But I like to store stuff in it. I've had beans in it. Seems like I had rice in it one time. Most recently I had beans in it. But they also make wonderful little arrangements or vases for your arrangements. Now this one, the girls or I found at one of the old dumps, like somewhere where we were finding old jars and glasses. It's really beautiful because of the beveled like edges of it. And it's been down in the basement. It still had dirt in the bottom of it. And in my recent cleaning out everything, I've been like, you got to use stuff or get rid of it. So I brought it upstairs and washed it up really good, thinking I would put beans or something in it. But today I'm going to put daffodils. And we recently had Granny's birthday party earlier in March, and these have still been hanging out in my kitchen. I made these arrangements. Now the hellebores that I had in the bottom of this, they wilted pretty quick, but you can see the yellow bells, forsythia, we call them yellow bells, are still going strong. So I wonder if I could trim them up higher and put them in with the daffodils. That's what I'm going to try to do. Let's see, this one's really especially pretty. Actually, I could probably just cut that. Should have brought my snips in. Put that one there. Might still be too long though. I think that's better, but I wish that bottom part would, I wonder if it would go in that one. That's the prettiest part there. Okay, I'm just going to start putting, we'll have to trim the daffodils, I know, for this little jar. Oh, see, just one daffodil. Isn't that beautiful, just like that? I'll put a little bit more. I like to I'll put these little arrangements in here, but I like to get little bitty arrangements of these and put them in the bathrooms. It just makes it nice when you go in there and you can smell the wonderful scent. See, isn't that lovely? I think I might, or maybe I'll put some back here in the back, so either way, whatever side you're on, it'll look good. Put another one or two. So these are all the, like the traditional daffodil. I didn't put any of the, maybe I should put some of the old double ones in there. I see those old ones like that, the double ones, a lot of times at old home places. Okay, I'm gonna call that one done. That's beautiful. Now let's see what we can do for, I don't have to trim these in this taller glass jar. I'm not a flower arranger. I just please myself, but that's all, the only person I need to please, right? I wish you could smell how great it smells with the bread and the daffodils. Jonquils, Granny calls them jonquils. Easter flowers, a lot of people call them. They bloom at Easter a lot of times. March flowers, I've heard them called all kinds of things over the years. Narcissus, I think that's a different type. I have that. My next flush will be them, and they look more, they're just different. They look different. Okay, I thought I had some of the old-fashioned ones, double ones. It has more green in it, which really looks pretty. I'm gonna have to find me another container though, which is a nice problem to have. Hey, isn't that lovely? Okay, let's see what other kind of containers I can come up with. Okay, maybe I can use another one of these in this one. Probably should take off those blooms that are below the water, but I won't. Just leave them for now. The daffodils won't last a long time, and they'll be ready to put outside. Forsythia yellow bells kind of acts as a holder to hold some of them up. I got this other little container too. Put some in it for one of the bathrooms. Already looks kind of pitiful. It must have been one of the first ones that bloomed. It's interesting, the ones that are double all have this little bitty, like dried part at the top. I think that's for the bathroom. I think this had clam juice or something in it a long time ago, and I thought that'd make a nice vase and kept it. I used to make clam chowder. I hadn't made any in forever, but Matt and I both really liked it. Put that one right there. Okay, that's all of them. This one only had one of the old-fashioned ones, but that's pretty. Turned out pretty. And then the little one, I'll put this one in Katie's bathroom. Little bitty one. Actually, I might put that one in Katie's bathroom and that one in mine and Matt's. We don't have as much room. Okay, now maybe the bread's cooled enough for me to test it, I hope. See if I can find Matt. He could taste it with me.
Fishing lure, fishing worm slime off my fingers.
Okay, this is a different, I used a different flour for this one. So, we'll see. See if you like it as good as the other. And it's really still too hot to cut, but I'm going to cut it anyway.
It means it'll melt the butter good.
Yeah, it will. Okay. Since it just makes this one little loaf, it's really good. I guess I could, it's kind of hot, but show you the center of it. So it's it's really a dense. It's not light and fluffy.
Kind of like me then, it's dense.
Dense. Still really hot.
What kind of flour is it?
Soft white wheat.
It's good.
It's not as nutty as the Acorn, is it?
I think I like it better.
Mm-hmm. Now it doesn't have the lightness and the fluffiness of a yeast bread. It's way more dense, but it's real hearty.
It's very good. It'd be good for some stewed beef and taters, wouldn't it?
Get on that.
Oh, okay. Quit what I was doing.
I'm just kidding.
I like that.
Very good.
You're a pretty good cooker, woman.
I try to be. Of course, our little cooker taught me how to make this.
Cooker Junior.
I had to tell Matt these are biscuits made from the fresh wheat, so they're not white lily. If they're not any good, you're gonna have to get you some toast. The gravy will be good though, and the eggs. Maybe the biscuits will be edible.
Sure they will be.
I just wanted to try it. See what we thought, since I had milled some yesterday. The verdict on the biscuits were, they were pretty good. Really different, not light and fluffy like White Lily, but still really tasty. Matt and I both liked them.
So now I'm heading up into the woods. I've still got one tree stand out that I never did get, and I've got a little time, so I'm going to walk up in here and get it. Should have got it 2 months ago, but I didn't. But it's not far. It's up here close to the house, up here on top of the ridge, so I'm going to go get that now. All right, there it is. Got it off the tree. Packed up, ready to go down the side of the hill. I'm real close to the house. But it is super steep and slippery with leaves down through here, so I won't be able to film any of that. No, I can't film and stay on my feet at the same time. All right, made it back down to some ground that's a little bit less steep, almost back to the house. Got the stand on my back. I'm glad to have that done. It's just one more one more project over with, one more chore, I should say. Should have done it 2 months ago, but things just keep getting in the way, so we got it though.
I've been trying to clean out this long flower bed in front of the porch here, and I keep getting started and have to do something else, so I'm just pecking away at it a little bit at a time, and maybe today will be the day that I finish it, although supper's calling my name. I've not got long before I got to go in and cook supper. I'm going to try though. Well, I did not finish, but I made a little bit more headway. I still have about, I don't know, I guess that's about a third left to go. But it'll have to wait for another day because I got to go cook supper. Every little bit helps though, right? I'm so glad I come out here to attempt to clean out the bed again, because look what's blooming. Look at the blood roots. Isn't they beautiful? Look at them. They're so pretty. That one's just now opening up. These have not opened yet, but aren't they lovely? And those leaves, once they finally come out, will be just as pretty. I love looking for new growth this time of the year. You can see some little daffodils there, but look, there's a poppy. I bet that's one of the poppies I planted in the snow, because I didn't have poppies right here last year, so I'm thinking that's what that is. That almost looks like a lupine. I'm not sure. See, that's the problem, is I forget what I planted where, but that's something that wasn't there last year. So that's something new too. Unless I've planted it, unless I had it and I just don't remember it, but I don't think so. But that's what it looks like, is a lupine. I've got bloodroot in a couple of places. This is hugged up right under my kitchen window. See, that one's, I was gonna say, that one's about spent, but you can see they're just gonna start falling off. That's what they do. And then those beautiful leaves will come out and get bigger and bigger, about as big as my hand, until they go away. Till next year. That's just one of my favorite flowers. Look at this wonderful carpet of creeping thyme that I planted a few years back. It smells wonderful, and it just keeps growing down. Of course, it's edible, so it's a good thing to throw in your, I like to use it with chicken and other things, but it just makes a beautiful carpet that smells really good. This is one of the rows where we planted the carrots. I don't see any, but that's nothing to worry about yet, because it takes them a long time to actually germinate and come up. What I do see coming up, though, is radishes. Lots of radishes. Our onions are starting to come up, too. There's some little onions. First little signs of lettuce and kale that I planted are coming up. This is the salad corn that I planted last fall. It kind of stayed about like this all winter, except you can see there's new growth on it. So I'm just gonna leave it. I didn't harvest any over the winter because it was so small, but it's now that spring of the year's here, it's starting to grow. So hopefully we'll get to eat some of it. Well, it's a few days later, but I finally got the bed cleaned out. It looks so much better. You can see where there's all kinds of hostas trying to poke up. A lot of those need to be moved. They've got so big. There's only one or two little snowdrops still blooming. There's a little bloom. They're about done for this year. Those are really pretty when they bloom. The Lenten roses look so much better now that you can actually see them. And see all that little growth? That's new little Lenten roses. It's where they've reseeded themselves. This part looks kind of sparse, but it's not really, because there's so many giant hostas that's going to come up and take over. Those are some of the ones that need to be dug up and split too. But at least this chore is done.